Thank you for joining me on another session of Broken to Beautiful. On this journey, we've been looking at the things that make us feel broken, the things that contribute to our brokenness, and how we can overcome them and negotiate the path to our most beautiful self, to our most authentic selves, to the truth of who we are, and really relish it and live with our measure of peace. Now, it doesn't mean that life would not throw wrenches. It does not mean that difficult times would not come. It just means that we would know how we can handle it better and how we can not let the pain set in and negotiate to the place that we want to get to, or how we can overcome the pain that tends to set in as a result of some of the experiences that we've had, how we do not build our houses in our hurt. So we have been looking at a lot of how-tos. Now, it's not a comprehensive teaching, but you're gonna have to excuse me for a second. Yeah, that happens. It's not a comprehensive teaching, but hopefully the insight that you have gotten will therefore would help you build the kind of life, the kind of, the person that you know you are, that you'll be able to step out in boldness. Now, to do a lot of what we do takes work. And that's one of the things that I love about my clients. When they come to me, they're ready to work. They're ready to do the hard stuff. And that includes building up their self-esteem, their self-confidence. And a lot of people don't want to hear about work. A lot of people don't want to hear about what they have to do. They just want to say, give me the quick fix, give me the end result. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. When you really need something in life, when you really need and you're driven for something and you want better comes with work. And that's the truth. So I want to thank you again for joining me. Today we're going to be talking about self-esteem, self-confidence, self-worth, self-value. Name it what you want. The thing is, a lot of the times we think we've got it, but when we reflect on our actions and our behavior and some of the things that led to our hurt, then we start to realize maybe we don't have it as much as we thought we did, but we can get it. That is the great thing I love about life. The hope that we have is that we can get it. Now, when we talk about self-esteem, what are we talking about? It isn't just whether I put on a dress and I think I look good in the dress. It's not just about your outward appearance. Actually, it's about the attitude you have towards yourself. It is self-esteem deals with how you value yourself, that perception you have of yourself and how you value that self. It deals with it feeds your self-confidence. It feeds your sense of self-worth. Your whole sense of self is wrapped up in your self-esteem. So that is something that it is critical to your happiness, that you make sure that that is at a very healthy level, that it stays in balance, and that you know that, okay, yes, I've got this, and every day I'm working on it to keep it where it needs to be. So we are dealing with our self-value, your sense of self-worth. That's how you assess yourself. It's, if you've got $1 and you got $5, the $5 is a bigger value. So when you look at yourself, not in terms of money, do you know your worth, your value? And a lot of people say, yeah, it is, I'm priceless, you can't put $1 on me. But if you are accepting a lot of behaviors, or if you're being hurt by a lot of behaviors, or you're exhibiting behaviors that, aren't living up to and supporting that worth, then hello, we might got some self-esteem issues on our hand. The thing with, so we're going to start out talking about some of the signs, the symptoms of low self-esteem and what you can do to counteract it. Now, the thing is with low self-esteem is that you think everything is your fault. Every time something happens, you find a way to blame yourself. And you just can't seem to see how some things just aren't your fault. And sometimes with low self-esteem too, we blame everybody else for something. So it can go both ways, but you always accept the worst. People with low self-esteem, if they go to a party there and say the food is running out, they will not try to come up with a solution and let's see how we could make it share for the rest of us. They'll go like, yeah, everybody else go, I'll just drink some water. When inside of them, they may be on the brink of passing out. Is that being noble? But if is that being noble, or is that just a sense of your self-esteem? Now, there's nothing wrong with telling somebody, go ahead of me. But if you think that everybody else at that party deserve to have a good time, deserve to eat, and you just always be the one who ends up without, you might need to take a second look at that. Or if your family bought a set of stuff, clothes or gifts or something, and they're giving out, and everybody, you see something you really like and somebody else grabs it up, even though they have 2 or 3 others, you go like, okay, you can have it, but you've got nothing left. So you're always accepting the worst of situations, even when that situation should be in your favor. That's an indication of low self-esteem. Even if you're pursuing relationships that doesn't give you what it is that you need. A lot of the times I hear people in relationships saying, look, he doesn't respect me. He does not love me. He does not show me any affection. He's very rude sometimes when he say things. He doesn't care about what interests me. And yet they pursue these relationships, heart, mind, body, and soul. They go like, he does this thing that really upsets me, but now we all have our bad qualities. But if somebody is treating you poorly in a relationship and you keep going after these relationships where you're not getting the kind of feedback, connection that you want, where there's no true intimacy, and I'm not talking sex, because sex and intimacy are 2 different things. You could have major intimacy and never lay a hand on each other. If your emotional needs are not being met by that relationship and you keep going after it, you need to check your self-esteem issues. And I am so serious about that. The things that constantly hurt you, that you keep going after, usually indicate that we've got some self-esteem issues. If someone did something to cause you discomfort, do you find yourself apologizing when they was the one who did something to you? There have been times in my past when I really struggled with my self-esteem. As a matter of fact, my aunt sent me a picture the other day, and I thought about putting it up for you guys to see. Hello. I was like, destroy that immediately. It was from my days when I struggled so badly with my self-esteem. And people would do things to hurt me. They would do things that caused me discomfort. And then I would find myself apologizing. There came a point in my life when I went like, why am I apologizing for you treating me like crap? You were the one that went out and hurt me. I'm not there to grovel and ask, what did I do wrong? How could I make it better? No, you made a decision. The other individual did something to cause you discomfort, to cause you hurt, but you find yourself apologizing and trying to make up for it. How do you make up for somebody treating you like crap? Hey Tracy, been a long time, girl. Good to see you. Hi Lou, how is St. Martin? Thank you all for joining us. So if you find yourself always seeming to have to make up when somebody, hi Cynthia, when somebody has done you something wrong, then you need to check your self-esteem issue. If they did wrong, they deserve to apologize to you. And if you have to be groveling and going like, oh my God, how could I not make it happen again? Check your self-esteem issue. If for having a different opinion, oh my goodness, I used to do this so badly when I was younger, when I was really struggling to find my footing. If somebody says something and I don't agree, and I even venture, first thing I would be scared like crap to offer a different opinion. But if I do venture to offer the opinion, I used to always be like saying, I'm sorry, but this is what I think. Why are you sorry for thinking? It is a normal, natural process. It is a human right. It is one of the things that make you human. So you're basically apologizing for being human. So if you find yourself always attaching an apology for your own thoughts, your own ideas, your own opinion, you need to check your self-esteem issue, because it is, if you've got low self-esteem, it is almost impossible to find your happiness, to find your space. You understand, where you can truly function in your authenticity and in your beauty. So you've got to be able to know, look, this is something I think, and that you have the confidence. You know that your thoughts are worthy of being heard. How you feel is worthy of being heard. You should be able to share that. And I'm grateful for the journey I've had that brought me from there to here. Another thing is, for persons, sometimes if you make a mistake, and you're acting as if the whole world has just fallen apart, and they're going to string you up somewhere and hang you upside down for a tree and whip you with lashes, with some lashes, then you need to check your self-esteem. Making mistakes are a part of life. We do not have all knowledge about everything. So chances are, no matter how well we plan some things, we make mistakes. And you cannot kill yourself for making a mistake. And you should not allow anybody else to crucify you either for making a mistake. Mistakes are a part of life. So if you find yourself always coming down really hard on yourself and beating up yourself and going over and over because you made a mistake, then you need to check your self-esteem issue. What about if you feel unworthy of receiving good things? If you're always feeling like, when somebody decides to give you a gift, somebody says, okay, look, I got a gift for you. And they go like, okay, it's not my birthday. Or even if it's your birthday, why are you giving this to me? Oh, you shouldn't have. Or like, but I want to know what I can get you. Oh, nothing, that's okay. Or whatever you want. Look, all of us at some point in our life have things that we would like to have. And you don't have to make it an elaborately expensive thing. You would know the person, know their budget, and you could give them a couple of things that you like. I like books. I like historical fictions. I like this. I like music. Tell them something that you like. But the moment that you feel unworthy, that people should not give you gifts, that you should not get that promotion at work, that the guy in your relationship, he should, it's okay however he wants to behave, or the girl or the whomever you're in a relationship. Yeah, I don't like when they do that, but, and you always have a but, and people are treating you like crazy, or they bring you home something good, or they want to treat you to a dinner just to say thank you for something, or just because they like you, and you don't think that you should go. No, you don't have to do that. It's okay. I did it for my pleasure. No, I'm not just saying, look, right? You don't just go expecting everybody to always give you. But when people give you things, know that they're seeing something worthy. No matter if they're saying thank you to you, accept it. If they're saying, look, I would like to get you something, can you tell me what you like? Tell them a couple of things that you like. Let them choose what's within their budget. But whatever it is, know that somebody saw something worthy in you to be able to give you something. So you don't always have to take the worst of the situation. You don't always basically have to sit down under the table and wait for crumbs to drop. This is your life. You need to be sitting at the head of your table with your grand feast before you in every single situation. If they say they're going to promote you, it's because you're capable of handling a job. Grab your promotion and run with it. Low self-esteem says that you always see yourself as unworthy of a good thing. You know where we stand unworthy? When we stand before God. That's the one place we stand unworthy. When we're dealing with other human beings, when you got to be able to say, look, I did the work. So if my boss want to promote me, I deserve the promotion. If your significant other bring home flowers, don't just go like, oh, you didn't have to do that. Smell those flowers, bury your face in it, and take a deep breath and feel the love and appreciation. When friends decide to do something nice for you, accept it. It means that they value your space and contribution in their lives. You can't just keep telling yourself you're unworthy. You gotta start seeing some worthiness in yourself. Another thing is, if you're always looking for approval, there are people who everything they do, they don't do anything, and they would tell you, Oh, it's just a little thing that I did. But they're just waiting for somebody to acknowledge, somebody to recognize this thing that they did. And if no one does, it is as if the entire world is falling apart. So if you're always looking for approval, if you do something, pour your heart out in it, and you're just there on the side, just waiting for this person to come and give you and say, look, you did good. And they don't, and you're devastated. You gotta check your self-esteem issues. If you're always looking for approval, if you're devastated when people don't give their approval, we gotta check our self-esteem issue. What about if people put you down constantly, yet you still always go around them? Hello. If they're always putting you down, if they're always making you feel bad, why do you need them in your circle? Why do you need to be associated with them? It's okay to tell them to keep stepping. If you're accepting that kind of behavior, then it means that you got to check your self-esteem issues. If you're always sleeping as a way to hide from the world, check your self-esteem issues. This is a big one. Well, maybe not a big one, but a very common one. If you're always checking your phone, if you're out in a social environment, and the moment the conversation goes quiet, or if you're standing talking to someone at a party, some function, and that person goes off and you're forever checking your phone for messages that you know are not there, or if you're just maybe in the supermarket and you're waiting for something or whatever, and you gotta be in your phone and ain't got no message there, you need to check your self-esteem issues. The moment that you need to distract yourself because nobody's talking to you, or you think everybody might be looking at you, or you don't want to look weird, you should be able to stand in line and not have to pretend there's something happening on your phone. It is just an amazing thing, the way in which our self-esteem shows itself in everyday activities. So those are some of the marks of self-esteem. And for those of you who are just jumping on, hi Savi, hi Annette, hi guys, thank you so much for joining me. Annette says we need to learn to put ourselves first at time. Amen to that. You got that right. The thing is, we think that by letting people take advantage of us, we think that by killing ourselves for others, that somehow we're sacrificing for the people we love, that is healthy and that's good. And we think, and the whole world teaches us that if we focus on ourselves, that we are selfish. Selfishness is when you focus on yourself and yourself only to the exclusion and even hurt of other people. But it is normal that you spend some time on you and you focus on you and you build yourself up. Like I said in the past, if you are not filling up yourself emotionally, spiritually, etc., what you're pouring out and say you're sacrificing is just your emptiness. So you're pouring, but what you have inside of you is not happiness, that you're pouring out, because you're not allowing yourself to be filled up. And the best way to start filling up is with you, because you know you. So hi Debbie, thank you so much for joining us as well. And so when we're talking low self-esteem, we talk about if somebody did something to you, but you go and you're apologizing to them, or you're trying to make up to them when they're the one who did something to you, you got to check your self-esteem issue. And it could be, people do that a lot. Let me tell you something. People do that a lot, especially people who are abusive. You know what they do? They do something wrong, and when you tell them about it, they blow up in anger. And you then start to feel bad that you did something wrong. That's your self-esteem need a check. You always, no matter how angry somebody gets at you, no matter how much they blow up, how loud they get, if they're the one that did you wrong, you maintain that. And that they're the one who need to apologize to you and should find some way to make that up to you if it's possible. So if you're being done, if somebody does wrong to you and you're apologizing and trying to make up, check your self-esteem issue. If you're trying to sleep your days away, always napping more than a baby to hide from the world, check your self-esteem issue. It's an avoidance thing. If you're always apologizing for having a different opinion, if you go like, my thoughts, these are my thoughts, sorry, but I don't agree. Why are you apologizing for not agreeing? You're apologizing for being human, because to think and have a thought that is your own is human. So you cannot apologize for being human. What about if you always feel like you're unworthy of receiving good things? You got to check your self-esteem issue. Are you comparing yourself to others? Check your self-esteem issue. Instead of comparing, just see the similarities that you have in somebody that you admire. And if you're always looking for approval, you need to check your self-esteem issue. If somebody's putting you down repeatedly, but you're still always around them, you need to check your self-esteem issue. If you're always telling a lot of little white lies, exaggerating on stuff, you need to check your self-esteem issue. All of these are indications of low self-esteem. So what do you do? And what do high self-esteem look like? Healthy self-esteem look like? Well, in a lot of instances, first thing first, you got to know that you've got a right to an idea, a thought, or an opinion. So you don't need to apologize for having a different opinion, thought, or idea. Like I said, if somebody did you wrong, you do not apologize for them hurting you. You let them apologize for them hurting you. Thirdly, if you're out at a party and no one is talking to you, you don't go pretending that there's stuff happening on your phone. Find somebody else who's alone and start a conversation, because you've got a voice that is worthy to be heard, and you've got something that you could think about, that you could say, even if it starts with a compliment to the individual. Don't be fake about it. Find something that you truly like and, give a compliment about it. So these are some of the ways that you could counteract some of the low self-esteem issues. Stop pursuing in relationships that are not giving you what you truly need from a relationship or a friendship. But what does positive or healthy or high self-esteem look like? You value honesty. Even when people can tell you, be honest with you, but be kind. I'm not talking about people who go like, oh, what are you wearing? With the intention of just causing you to feel shame. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about someone who will nicely sit you aside and say, you know what? That dress you're wearing, I'm seeing like everything through it, girl. It's like you want to expose all of that to the world. So a friend who would really take your feelings into consideration. So honesty, kind honesty is what you want, not the kind tend to destroy. So people with high self-esteem appreciate honesty because they use it to build themselves, and they use it to assess, and they use it to learn. So it becomes like a tool that they have. You also do not accept treatment that puts you down. It does not matter from whom. It could be mother, father, brother, sister, significant other, sibling, whoever, pastor, teacher, whomever. You do not accept, people with high self-esteem do not accept being put down by others. And they don't have to get rude and rambunctious about it. There are many times that I have nicely looked at someone and said, whatever it is you're saying right now, I'm not hearing it, you need to stop it. And then I would walk off and leave them. If they're interested in continuing a conversation, let's start with the apology. So if you're putting me down, if you're accepting that, low self-esteem. If you're standing up to that, you got a better chance of your high self-esteem. You can accept compliments without gloating. You feel good, but you don't go, ha, look, yeah, that's who I am. No, you accept your compliments gratefully, but you can accept compliments. People with low self-esteem always try to brush off a compliment or deflect it. I knew one individual, I couldn't even tell, the most I could say is happy birthday. They would not allow you to say any good wishes or anything like that for them. That's some serious self-esteem issues that you need to check. And people with high self-confidence, they help build other people up. They do not need to tear people down to feel better. Tearing people down to feel better is a sign of low self-esteem. High self-esteem suggests that I could sincerely help to build you up. We got a comment here from Lou saying, I will share this with the ladies I meet. So many women are going through this stuff. I know that, and I see it day in and day out. And a lot of the times they think it's normal to accept this stuff and to walk around with this stuff. Oh, we dress up the outside. We will spend so much money to make sure that this looks good. You understand? I've had some negative comments on my videos and like, oh, your makeup could be better. And people tell me my hair could be better and I could put more curls. And I get all kind of things. But you know what? Let me tell you something about people who have high self-esteem. Is that when I stand before you, I stand before you in my truth, in knowing who I am. And if you don't like the makeup and you don't like the hair and you don't think the jewelry works or whatever the issue might be, that is okay. That is your opinion. And it truly has nothing to do with me, because I'm doing me in full glory of who I am. The thing is, your opinion is totally you. And I don't get upset because you have an opinion that's different to me, or a view or a perspective of how I should look. That is okay. That is totally you. And you have a right to feel and think whatever it is you want to feel and think. I also have a right to disagree. And that's the difference between low self-esteem and high self-esteem. Also, that's the thing. People with high self-esteem, you're comfortable in your skin. You can walk into a place, be dressed differently to everybody, or your hair might be combed differently to everybody, and you didn't do it for attention. You did it because it's truly who you are. That is high self-esteem. And you're also assertive, and you believe in, you recognize your flaws, you work at them, but you hold on to your strength. You do not give away your strength to please people. So assertive people are not out to just be people pleasers. They are like, look, I could be kind to you, I could help you, I could stand here with you, but I also have to take care of me. And if they disagree, they're going to let you know, look, I cannot help you with this because I do not agree with the principle. I do not agree with what you're doing. And even though I am your friend, I'm here for anything else, but this thing I don't agree with. Confident, high self-esteem suggests that you are sure of who you are, sure of what you believe. You stand in your assertiveness. You stand in your strength. You work on your negatives or your flaws, and you accept that they're there and you work on them. You do not live to please people, and you do not live your life as an apology to others. So that's a mouthful that I know that I've given you concerning what low self-esteem looks like, how you can combat it and build some of your esteem. Let me tell you something. Building your self-esteem, building your self-value, building how you see yourself, building your sense of self-worth starts with truth of who you are. You cannot tell me you're going out there to build a house and you have no idea what this house is supposed to look like, no blueprint. So it's time for you to start getting to know the blueprint of who you truly are. And self-esteem is tapping into the truth of you are. It is no pretense. This is no pretense of what people want me to be. This is no pretense of how I should act, look, think, or follow a particular script. It is about being who you truly are. If everybody around you is wearing black and dark colors and you feel like putting on a splash of orange because orange makes you feel good, go right ahead and do you. And these are the little ways. It is in little ways. By starting to tell someone, you disagree with me, but I have a different idea. It is these little ways that you start building your self-esteem. And you could start with the people close to you. If you've got a family member who's always coming at you kind of left and you don't like the things that they say to them, you let them know, I am not pleased with what you are saying at the moment, and you feel good about it. If somebody offers you something and you know you worked your butt off for this thing, or it's a gift that they're giving you and you know, okay, this is a friend of mine, you know that you're worthy of it. So let's start with a simple exercise. Every day get up and tell yourself, I am worthy of being treated royally. Every day you get up and you look at yourself in that mirror, even if you don't feel it, you keep telling yourself that, and then find one thing about yourself that you feel you're worthy, that makes you, like, maybe you might be kind, maybe you might be very loyal, maybe you go above and beyond for friends and family, Maybe you just have a very sympathetic heart to others. Find a good thing about you and tell yourself every day, I am worthy of being treated royally. But that worthiness starts with how you treat you. You cannot expect others to treat you royally when you're willing to accept the crap from them and from everybody else. So, journey to self-esteem, to positive self-esteem, to higher self-esteem, to self-confidence. We've got Savvy saying yes. Hi Kizzy, thanks for joining us. Savvy saying yes, so much of us as women are going through issues like this. You know, ladies, and to the gentlemen who are on here, yeah, men and women, they do accept a lot of crap. And a lot of the times we see it a lot with women because men put on their bravado. Men have their ego to protect, so they put on a show, so they hide it just a little bit better. But don't get it twisted or mistaken for a minute. A lot of the times, the way men self-esteem issues show up a lot in the way they try to protect their ego, in their aggression. Yeah, I could go off on the differences of how men and women show self-esteem issues, low self-esteem. But it is the truth. There are a lot of women, Savvy, you're right, who are struggling with their sense of self, their sense of self-worth. The thing is, as women, sometimes mothers and the people who are around us, they may have failed to teach us what strong self-esteem look like. And maybe we never saw it. And so what we're doing is repeating what we would have been taught either by their actions or by their words. And a lot of the times too, we grow up in environments that are so negative. They keep people who say all kind of snide, nasty things. So we tend to think that that's okay. Or we are so conditioned to it, we don't even realize that we are accepting it. And so that is where a lot of the times from young, our sense of self-worth and self-value has diminished. And do you know why you battle? You're battling and you're uncomfortable because there's a deeper person hidden on the inside. Your truth is telling you that these are lies, but you are so conditioned to the lies that it is hard to break through so that you can let the truth of who you are come forth. It is tough. I never make bones about that. It is rough, these things that you face, to be able to change them. And that is why I applaud women who I work with and the men, because I know it takes a little bit of guts to fight all that conditioning and nature, and people are going to start saying this and people are going to start saying that, but you got to want you most. You got to want your truth the most. So you're very right. A lot of women are facing these issues. A lot of women are dressing up the outside and they're dying on the inside. A lot of women are drinking their way to supposed happiness, smoking their way to supposed happiness, sexing their way to supposed happiness. You understand? And men do the same thing as well. And yes, I'm pretty blunt about it because it is the truth. And we accept all this stuff into our life, and we know this is not what we truly want or who we truly are. But we got something to prove somewhere, and we try and find our happiness. But you got to start with you. And that's where we're starting. That's what Broken to Beautiful is all about. It starts with you. Recognizing what has been broken, what is hurting, what is painful, and finding the practical ways to mend it. And it takes work and discipline. And I'm always happy to help someone on their journey, because it's awesome when you see the transformation, and that's no lie. We got another comment. Luke say, and Savvy says exactly correct what you're saying. Lou said, thank you so much. I feel so much better. I would so much. God bless you. Thank you so much, Lou. So as we wrap up this session, I just want to remind you of that. If you've been struggling with low self-esteem, it doesn't have to end there. That's the thing about when we have life. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Sorry, a little distraction down there. It doesn't matter. I'm going to get up. It does not matter, and that's being a mommy. It does not matter what has gone through, what you've gone through, where you've been. Your value is not determined by the experiences you've had. Your value is not determined by somebody else, and I keep saying that. you would have gone through. If you take a diamond and you put it through the worst thing you could think about, and you beat up on it and you stomp on it and you put it through mud and you even put it to human feces, at the end of that diamond still remains a valuable diamond. So Tracy said, this is so important to me. Yes, girl, I feel you. I'm so glad to see. It's been forever and a day. I want to tell somebody today that where you started is not where you need to end. If you are struggling with your sense of self, your sense of self-worth, your value, if you're just trying to fix up all this on the outside, but on the inside you feel like you're withering and you can't connect, or you feel numb, somebody needs to know that's okay. That is what has been. What are you gonna do now? Are you gonna stay in that state, or are you going to find the value in you? And though the diamond that you are have been through the mud and the worst in life, you still remain a diamond. So one simple exercise every day, you look at yourself in the mirror and you tell yourself, I am worthy of royal treatment. And start with treating yourself royally. And that's not just fixing up the outside. It starts with fixing from the inside. Because when that inside is all together, the outside have no choice but to glow, glitter, and be glamorous. So I want to thank you today for joining me so much. It is always a pleasure to deposit these little gems into your life. It is truly, I'm hoping that you can take this and go with it, and that it could help to begin the stages for transformation. If you need a hand on your journey from going from your broken to your beautiful, or finding your measure of peace and getting yourself to your place of healing, you just send me a message that says B2B, broken to beautiful, and I will be sure to let you know what services I offer and how I can help you in this whole process. We are here Monday to Fridays, 12 Eastern, depositing gems into your life that by the end of this series, I hope you have a whole treasure chest of gems. And I'm almost excited. I almost spilled the beans. Yes, I do have something awesome coming up for you. That would be, and because I love you guys, all these videos are free. And I'm going to throw in a little bit something for you. The last day of the month, we're going to have a question and answer session. If you've got questions about things that have pained you, hurt you, how you want to do something you're struggling with, you could either send me the questions before we get to the end of the month, or you can make sure you're on that live. You ask me, I answer, and we can make it an awesome time. And then we will have some good stuff to do. Yes, so thank you so much for joining me. Remember, share this. There are so many people out there who are struggling with their self-esteem, who feel unhappy and they're not even sure how to fix it or how to begin. And that's the intention for these videos, to help them in the process of getting the ball rolling. There is value in you. I don't care what anybody have said to you. I don't care what your journey has been. I don't care where you have been. There is value in you. So share the video. Join me on Instagram, on Twitter. Join my group Unleash. You just press on the button up there to join the group, and I make sure that you get accepted. Sometimes there might be a little delay depending on how busy we are, but we will get to you. You deserve to be treated royally. And that treatment, it starts with you. Have yourself a good one.